I'd like to share with you a secret that will increase the joy in your life. It comes from the Apostle Paul, who wrote a letter to the Thessalonians in chapter 5, and he says, "Rejoice always. I command you to rejoice all the time," he's saying. Choose joy all the time, no matter what. And I remember reading this thinking, how can I do that? Well, the next verse says, pray without ceasing. So how can I choose joy all the time? Well, pray without ceasing. Talk to God about your situation. How can I do that? How can I pray without ceasing? What would I pray about all the time? Verse 18 tells us, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. Rejoicing always, praying without ceasing. How do I do that? By giving thanks in everything. And when I do those three things, I am living in the will of God, and I am living in joy. You can experience joy always if you'll pray always, if you'll learn to give thanks in everything you experience, to have a grateful heart and not a complaining heart, to be a person who's filled with praise and worship instead of one who's filled with griping and complaining. I want to encourage you, give thanks in every situation. There are a lot of benefits of Thanksgiving. Do you know it does increase your joy and happiness? Surveys have proved this. Grateful people are happier people. Grateful people sleep better. Grateful people can balance their emotions and handle what's going on much better. They have a stronger immune system. They can handle opposition and troubles and trials and attack better than people that are not thankful. They have more hope when it comes to the future. They're in better physical health, thankful people. And they have less stress, less burnout, less symptoms of PTSD in their lives. Gratitude is a powerful thing. God tells us it is His will for your life. That means if we're not being grateful, we're sinning against God, and we're sinning against ourselves, and really we're sinning against everybody else because we're not being the person God intended us to be. Choose joys always. How do I do it? You pray all the time. How do I pray all the time? Just be thankful. Whenever you have a moment, stop and thank God for 3 or 4 things. It's interesting. I was in a season of great physical trauma. I was in chronic illness. It lasted 3 years. It was limiting. I could only work a couple hours a day. I was in pain all the time. I was exhausted all the time. I couldn't eat lots of things. I had massive allergy issues. It was a terrible, bad, dark, difficult season. And I had 3 boys, 4 years old and under. I had a growing church. It was a terribly difficult season. And my mom wrote me a note. My mom that had a lot of health issues, she had a lot of challenges in her life, wrote me a note and basically said, stop griping, start being thankful, get going. She was right. I said, okay, I'm going to pray. I pray all the time. I'm going to pray several times a day, but I'm only going to pray prayers of thanksgiving. And I'm going to thank God for my physical blessings. I can walk, I can hear, I can speak, I can smell, I can taste, I can use my hands, I can use my feet. I'm going to thank God for financially blessing us, that we have enough food to eat, and my boys have clothes to wear, and we have a roof over our head. I'm going to thank God for the opportunity of serving Him in ministry. I'm going to thank God for my family that lives in my house and my extended family. I'm going to be thankful. And I would just look for things to be thankful. I made a list of 100 things I was thankful for. And I can tell you, by 2 weeks' time, my health was better, my pain was less, my allergies were less, my blood sugar was balanced, the depression was gone, I was heading in the right direction. Gratitude brought joy and healing to my life. In everything, we're to give thanks, because this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. I'm Dr. Dave Earley, and if you enjoy this type of Bible teaching, I encourage you to follow us on our Facebook page or subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll do our best to give you solid, good Bible teaching 5 days a week, consistently, credibly, and clear, that will help you in your spiritual and life in general, will help you live for God.